If a woman uses a psych term at you, that is a red flag every single time. These are like, oh, are you gonna sit here and tell me that my feelings are wrong? Lav does this all the time, right? Okay, here's what happened, okay? We recorded a 2-hour conversation because she offered to take it down, but I'm like, well, if you take it down, it kind of looks like I bullied you into like removing it. I don't know, listen. Can you clarify your stance on I feel statements? For example, what's wrong with saying I feel like Rittenhouse is a murderer? It seems like we use statements like this all the time in our lives. There's nothing wrong with the sentence, I feel like Rittenhouse is a murderer. The problem is that when we talk about in a interpersonal setting, a feel statement is supposed to be used to take away accusations against the other person and instead center on your response to how somebody's making you feel. It gives the other person a way to reflect on their actions without making them feel like they're being attacked, and it gives a way for you to put your emotions, your emotional well-being kind of center stage without it having to be adversarial. The problem is if you're treating an I feel statement this way, people can't really tell you that you're wrong about that, right? So if you say something like, oh, like, when you say things like this, it hurts me. That's an I feel statement. I didn't use I feel, but that's an I feel statement. You know, when we have arguments like this, I feel bad about it. It makes me feel this way. Or when you do this, blah, 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 like, it makes me sad, right? That's an I feel statement. I feel statements are effective because it makes the other person have to confront their actions because they can't really attack you for that. Hey, when you call me a stupid fuck, I don't know, it makes me feel bad. How can I argue with that? It makes you feel bad. Like, am I gonna say it shouldn't make you feel bad, right? It's really hard to argue with that statement. That's why I feel statements are effective ways to resolve conflict interpersonal between two people. However, because we have everybody today uses psych language and has weaponized the in a toxic way out of all these psych terms that I think should be locked away from the public. I don't think anybody should know that. And by the way, especially women, if a woman uses a psych term at you, that is a red flag every single time. These are like some of the biggest red flags somebody can give off is if they're using psych terms because they're probably weaponizing them at some point in their life. You're not supposed to use I feel statements to make descriptive claims about the other party and then retreat back to the sanctity of I feel statements saying they can't be attacked. So for instance, when you call me an asshole, it makes me feel kind of sad. That's an okay statement, right? You like this is I'm explaining a feeling in response to an action. But you can't say something like, I feel like you're a murderer rapist. And then someone's like, I'm not a murderer rapist. That's just the way that I feel. You can't attack that. Okay, but like I'm not, oh, you're gonna sit here and tell me that my feelings are wrong? Lav does this all the time, right? People, anytime somebody is using an I feel statement to make a controversial descriptive claim about another party, they're weaponizing I feel statements in an inappropriate manner. That's not an I feel statement. Now you're just describing a state of mind you have about a fact of the matter in the world, right? I feel, that means I think. When you say I feel like you're this, you're really saying I think you're this. You're asserting a fact, right? Yeah. But that's the, don't ever let people weaponize I feel statements like that. Maddie Cakes did that too. A lot of women do. Like I said, I think that anytime a woman is utilizing, like if you ever hear her say gaslight, self-abandon, basically half of Lav's vocabulary. Whenever you hear people say things like this, it's probably, it might be men too. I don't know. I don't have experience dating or romanticizing men, so I don't have the same experience. But anytime you hear women, saying stuff like this, it's, for me, it's a really big red flag because they, yeah. Talk about the no jumper drama.
I go get lunch and I come back to Destiny with cornrows and then a vague but dangerous threat. Come on, bro.
Trauma.
Fucking life support at this point.
Trauma and PTSD are also two huge ones. In my personal opinion, 85% of what's described as traumatic or trauma is not. I think people just use it. That's a huge red flag. I don't know. I'm sure there's more too. That's just my personal take. You don't have to believe anything I say. You really think it's not possible to communicate a nuanced position within like 30 seconds? It's like the read I got off some of your tweets, because if so, do you really think it's not possible to communicate a nuanced position within like 30 seconds? That's like the read I got off some of your tweets, because if so, that is retarded. I don't know, it depends on the position. It depends on the cutting. We're probably gonna do some more. Okay, here's what happened, okay? We recorded a 2-hour conversation. I asked her yesterday if I could just buy the full convo off of her, because now I'm like, okay, well, we need to post everything now. But she said she's only got like 44 minutes of the footage left because she's already cut it down. I think that the issue is, we talked about it. She said she could try to post a full 44 minute, but I don't even think it's worth it at this point. It doesn't matter. Listen, it's all learning lessons. I think the issue is that for her past content, she basically what she does is she writes skits and then she has a guy like read a thing off, and then she responds. So she has like a formula for doing her TikTok skits, which is really effective and works really well for her TikTok. But I think the issue is that she's not used to having like a real human being on the other end of that interaction. So like when she's editing her TikToks in the past, she's not thinking like, oh, like I don't want this guy to look bad, because it was like her ex or a friend that's like reading off like lines that she's already written on her shit. So I think when she was editing down mine, she's not really thinking like, oh, is this going to make him look bad? She's just trying to like get her point across basically. But I mean, like obviously we talked about it a lot yesterday. She's going to send me like future ones she does so that I can see it. Like I think she's going to post another one today, but it's a much better back and forth than just making me seem like a fucking rapist. Did you review the one that's going out today? Yeah. I told her for the past ones I said, you can release whatever you want. I don't care. But I didn't think it was going to be that egregiously done. But also, I don't think she thought it was that egregiously done too. Or not. Or maybe she's a huge backstabber. She was a secret agent sent from lab. So you think what you want. I don't care.
But
do you think people are being unfair with regards to attributing malice or negligence where it isn't? People are for everything. There's actually one really good post yesterday, actually. I think the only one that had something good to say was that God killer dude. I should be more strict about like asserting my shit, which I'll probably learn to do eventually. People assuming that it was malicious are retarded. People assuming it's because I'm just trying to fuck her are retarded. Yeah, I agree that it was obviously a bad cut, but like looking at like the totality of like all of her past shit and everything. And then I spoke with her a lot yesterday. Like I understand how she added stuff. So I'm very disappointed in you. Why do you not care? Well, I do care, but it's already out there. There's nothing you can do at this point. You have to move on with your life. Like you go to the next one, hopefully the next one's better, and then you move on from there. What am I gonna do? Cry about like shit already happened, it popped off, the fires burn through the forest, and then the trees will regrow. That's all you can do. Thoughts on the last No Jumper episode? Why was she there instead of Zerka? The only thing she said was a promo to her OnlyFans for the last 15 seconds of the episode. When we were gonna film the last episode was me, Dick, Vito, and Adam. It was supposed to be the four of us. And we sat down to record, and there was a fifth chair there. And then Farha was just like sitting off, like just hanging out because she was obviously done for the day. She wasn't doing anything. And then Adam was like, oh, you should come sit here for
Pepe
this.
wins.
And then he was like, oh, okay. That's why she was in the last episode. But she had nothing to contribute or say about any of the topics that were going on. So I know a lot of people are like posing like, oh, she's such an ungrateful fucking for blah, 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 blah. But it was like, Adam was like, come sit here and be in this chair. And she was like, oh, okay. But yeah, she had like otherwise
Could
no
we get
part
another
of
900 plus, please. Missed the last one by a few minutes. Peppy hands. Can you ask Farha to add a pinned comment on the TikTok? Or do you just not care at all?
The thing is, because she offered to take it down, but I'm like, well, if you take it down, it kind of looks like I bullied you into like removing it. I don't know. Listen, the fires of the internet will burn, and we'll get some debates off of this. Fuck it.